Hey everyone! You're finally listening to Heaving Bosoms, the podcast where two gal pals read romance novels and gush over them from a sex-positive, feminist, lady love perspective. Well, usually. Today we're switching that up a little. Let's start off by giving some love to one of our amazing patrons. Crystal T, you are a Splintercat, a ferocious feline legend of the Pacific Northwest that has incredible speed, can fly, and has an uncrackable skull. You basically fly at top speed into trees to knock raccoons and bees out so that you can nom on raccoon meat and honey. There's a bad rumor that Splintercats are mean and very moody. Lumberjacks are advised to never approach a Splintercat in a bad mood and leave gifts of food when in doubt. It's not the best reputation, we know. But hey, men leave you alone except to give you free food? If you don't want that gig, we'll take it. I have to say, y'all are really showing up for this Patreon fundraiser. In case you haven't heard, we're doubling all new and increased pledges for the months of June and July and donating them to the Yellowhammer Fund. Our donation is up to a whopping $1,160. I can't even, I'm so excited. Thank you so much to each and every one of you for supporting us, for supporting our Southern sisters, and for generally showing up. We want to work even harder to deserve your generosity. And when things get hard, this amazing community is what keeps me motivated personally. I'm just floored. Okay, for reasons we'll explain in the episode, we've got something a little different for you today. Erin and I watched a little Netflix gem called Always Be My Maybe, and we tell you all about it. Here we go. Here I am ready to go. Bumpity dapple doo da da.
Please keep that. Okay.
Hi, Erin.
Hello, Melody. My trebuchets are calibrated.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
You toggled the toggle to the correct toggle.
We had a false start, and then Melody was like, yeah, did you turn off your trebuchet? I'm like, that's not.
How's your echoes doing, Erin?
Yeah, my echoes are low. I'm here in the studio with Rooster. You may hear her sniffing loudly.
Rooster,
she's
the dog.
Geriatric dog, yeah.
Oh, if only I had been able to meet her. I'm so upset. I went all the way to Alaska, and I didn't get to meet the infamous Rooster.
She was hanging out with her friend Rev at PetSmart. She has one friend at PetSmart. Whenever a goat gets her progress report, it's always like, Goat hung out with these 16 dogs, was the life of the party. You probably saw her on her Instagram this week. And then it's like, Rooster sniffed around a dog named Rev. That's it. She's got one friend. And it doesn't even indicate that Rev reciprocated, ever.
She's a lady of discerning tastes.
She is. Well, yes. She burned a few bridges after, sorry, that was her shaking.
That's okay.
She burned a few bridges after she was exposed as a fake psychic.
You know what? Sometimes you just gotta be a medium dog.
And not a dog medium?
Yeah, everybody expects you to be a dog medium, and then where are you at? Honestly.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was a Patreon or a real episode, but
I don't know either.
Anyway, it was a callback.
Yeah.
So what's up? How was your trip back to New York City from my Alaskan wedding?
Erin. Can I just say...
Melody.
First of all,
yes,
I am a changed woman. My perspectives are totally different.
On
Anchorage is fucking rad.
Yeah, it's a great
Anchorage
place.
Is rad.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think I would rather eat a puppy than go there in the wintertime.
Yeah, but didn't you say you'd rather eat a puppy than come here at all ever?
No, I feel like no. You know,
the winter is great here. It's great. It's when all the good stuff happens.
I hear that, except I just don't think there's a coat big enough for me. You know what I'm saying? I just think I would have to be a bubble lady.
It's not even that cold here. It's like the same temperature as New York.
Yeah, you say that out loud.
I do. And
anyway,
it's just more snow.
Listen, I am a changed woman.
Yes.
Alaska rules. Just all of the... now, don't get me wrong. The Arctic is still the second scariest place. Nope. Probably the first scariest place I can think of.
Really?
Yes. The Arctic and open space. Those two places terrify me.
Open space scares you less than the Arctic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Open space.
Yeah, because there's a 0.0001% chance I would be in open space. But the Arctic, I could just stumble upon. You know what I'm saying?
You came here willingly last week.
In the summer. Is what like.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
You and Melody, I'm sorry, you are Melody. You and Tanya. Tanya showed up at the rehearsal dinner, literally quaking. I've never seen anything like it. I was like, how are you? And she was like, the road was scary. The mountain is scary. The field is scary. And I was like, it was at this conservation center. And I was like, there's a lynx over there. Do you want to go see it? And she's like, fuck you. I want to see a lynx. I want to see a fucking lynx.
Oh my God.
I'm going to stay inside this building where the food is. And that's it.
I did get Tanya to venture out into the wildlife looky-loo place. Because I had to track down that bear. I had a responsibility to the listener to track down that bear and post photos in the cult. And so
you did.
Oh boy, did I! I got my drunk ass out there because let's review. Mama was pumping and dumping. Oh, so drunk. You guys, Melody, I was the belle of the ball.
Melody named a signature cocktail after herself.
I did not do that.
At the rehearsal dinner.
I did not do that.
And then everybody started ordering the Melody. It was like the most Melody thing in the world. That the signature cocktail of Erin's rehearsal dinner becomes the Melody. It's bright and crisp and fresh and ready for summer. I hate it. I hate you, which is the new way of saying I hate you. Is what the kids are saying.
I did not do that. Did not do that. I ordered a drink from the bartender.
No, you know what? You did something that was even more Melody. What you did was you charmed the bartenders into naming a signature cocktail after you. That's even more Melody than what I said.
True.
Yes.
I can't help that your guest tried my drink and decided to go order the Melody by name. I can't help that, Erin.
Those caterers were classic. So we were doing the rehearsal outside before the people arrived for the dinner. And I came back in to run our silk ties back inside so they didn't blow away in the wind. And I put them on my chair. And I overheard the caterers being like, this isn't a wedding? I thought this was a wedding. What is this? Which I think is hilarious that they thought that they were catering a wedding. And then later, I made a comment about grizzly bears. And one of the caterers followed me around, literally followed me around because I kept being like, that was nice. Done talking and leaving the conversation, and he'd follow me, telling me the difference between brown bears and grizzly bears until I was like, I live here and this is my rehearsal dinner for my wedding. A, don't mansplain to hit on someone. B, it's my fucking wedding. Go away. Psycho stripper?
Yeah.
Sorry, no, he was a caterer.
Well,
anyway, all right.
Man, also, I don't know if you know about this, but everything in the rehearsal dinner had butter in it, which I'm so glad I asked. And so I charmed a caterer into going to get me roughly 12 of those delicious turkey arugula tiny sandwiches.
Oh, I didn't have any turkey arugula sandwiches.
Oh, boy. I just kept on going up to him and I'd tap him on the shoulder and he'd turn around and give me a 1 second hand signal and then go back and steal more tiny sandwiches for me. It was amazing.
I had 16 of those tiny crab cakes. Did you have any tiny crab cakes?
I didn't, no.
Oh, they were good. They were good. They had a tamponade. Is that a thing?
Ooh, a tamponade.
There was a thing on top of it. I don't know what it was. Anyway, it was delicious crab cake.
Maybe it was an aioli? Question mark?
No, I don't think it was an aioli. It was it had little chunks. It had some chunks.
That does sound like a tamponade, yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, regardless, you guys.
Yeah.
So I went to go find this grizzly bear. That's right.
Yeah.
And then as we were walking back, I realized that Tanya is not in my immediate vicinity.
Actually, Melody, grizzly bears are more in the interior of the state. You're going to find more brown bears down here. They're larger because they eat more salmons. Get the fuck away from me, caterer.
Yeah, they sushi, they sushi conveyor belt it.
The sushi conveyor belt.
Anyway, so I see that Tanya is not in my immediate vicinity, and I immediately raise the red flag. I'm like, everybody stop. We have to find Tanya. If I leave her alone in nature, she will never forgive me. I might be dead in the morning.
True.
So before I run all the way back, because I'm fixing to run all the way back to those bears, Cole's like, why don't you check ahead of us? And I was like, Cole, guy with the ideas. Sure. Yeah, I'll check ahead of us. I look over. I can just see her off in the distance getting more drinks. I can't even. I was about to call the National Guard.
That's not... You never call the right agency.
I'm sorry,
no.
the FBI.
Melody. The police. You just call the police. Stop making it like state and federal level. Just call the regular police.
Well, you know, I just feel like my friends are more important than that. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a different jurisdiction. It's not a level of importance.
Okay, so anyway, Erin had the most beautiful wedding. Oh my gosh.
It was pretty good.
It was an awesome wedding.
Definitely better than the wedding next door, Sean and Cedra. Am I right?
Oh man, Sean and Cedra, get out of here! What are you even doing?
Not a seafood tower. That's not what they're doing.
That's for fucking sure.
David and I fucking low crawled into that reception to see if they had a seafood tower, and the answer was no.
Yeah, don't worry, guys. On the cult, there are also photos of me with a chair pulled up to the carving station and right up at the seafood tower.
She did do that. Yep.
Very inconspicuously, I will add.
They call that a tower, but it was a lot flatter than I would.
You know, it was more of an ice dish. But
yeah,
it was a
more
never-ending
large
ice dish.
Platter of ice with various crabs and oysters and shrimps. I tried to, since we were the first through the line, I tried to, stack some shrimps on top of each other so that people wouldn't be like, this is the tower, you know? But I don't know if it worked. It was definitely a seafood area.
It was a never-ending seafood platter, which, I'm good with.
That's what they should call it. Maybe it sounded too, Village Inn or something. I don't know, but it certainly was not. It didn't have the height. It didn't have the height that I wanted and expected from a tower.
Fair. Anyway, okay, so you were goddamn radiant.
Thank you.
And I'm so glad that what has befallen you this week did not befall you last week.
Oh my God, you guys. There's a wildfire in Alaska. You probably haven't heard of it. It's a natural disaster, but since it happened in Alaska, no one cares or knows.
We don't care.
It's a wildfire that's like the size of Texas or whatever. Don't worry, you don't know about it. You haven't heard of it. And it's causing smoke to a level in Anchorage that my face swelled up to like a balloon fish.
It was incredible.
Eczema. I looked like a monster. Like somewhere across town, Gaston was like, show me the beast. And like people were coming with pitchforks to like come get me. It was, I say like it's the past tense, but I'm still enduring it. It was like one of the more painful experiences I've ever had. It was horrible.
And you guys, Erin injures herself all the time.
All the time. I have weird illnesses all the time. And the thing was, so it's real thick out there. Like David keeps... So I'm locked in my bedroom with 3 air filters running full blast and an air conditioner with the door shut for like 3 days. David's venturing out. He's like, oh, it's real smoky out there. And I'm like, yeah, it's clear. So last night, we were invited to a barbecue at our friend's place, and I didn't go because I still look like a monster. And I was like,
and you didn't want it to get worse.
That's true too. But I was also like, I have to get out. And I'm like, can we just go to a movie? And he's like, fine. So he like smuggles me into a movie theater, even with my face like it was. And I look around, and Melody, I'm the only one. Like everybody else looks so normal. Why me? Why did I have a severe allergic reaction to a wildfire that no one else had? Why me? I feel so terrible.
You're a special unicorn of wonder, Erin.
I'm like doing hydrocortisone face masks. It's not okay. I can't see anything. Every morning I wake up and my eyes are caked shut with snot. It's horrible. The dogs don't even recognize me. They're like, whoa. They won't even come sit on my lap.
So all of this is to say, everyone, we could not read a book this week.
I didn't read it.
Erin couldn't read. A lot of times her eyes were like shut. Because she's in so much pain.
With mucus. You guys. And then David's finally like, no one else is sick like this. Like maybe it's not the wildfire. Maybe you just got pink eye in both eyes at the same time. I'm like, how dare you suggest that I got poop in both of my eyes?
Yeah. Unless you need to tell me something, David. What have you been doing to my pillows?
Poop in my eyes? Did you put poop in my eyes?
Yeah.
It's not a funny prank.
Not a funny prank. No.
Anyway, all right. So that's my life. Sorry.
So in lieu of a book, we're doing Always Be My Maybe because it's the best thing to happen to everyone all year,
yeah,
I think.
And I already had notes on it because we were going to do it for Patreon. So
yeah.
Now for Patreon, we're going to do Psycho Stripper.
An incredible Lifetime movie that I am so excited to recap for you for Patreon. So buckle up. Strap on and strap in, everyone.
And you can get it on YouTube, so.
Yeah.
All right, so we did Always Be My Maybe. It's a rom-com that's available on Netflix that you can all watch. And unlike the last rom-com Netflix episode we did about The Wedding Planner, this movie is a good movie.
Oh boy, is it so good. Oh. Yeah.
All right. So do we need to say anything by way of introduction before we just get into it?
Listen, Always Be My Maybe is this excellent. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. It's this excellent Netflix only business with Ali
Wong
Wong and Randall Park and Keanu Reeves, the one true Chris, playing himself.
But Keanu Reeves cannot be the one true Chris.
I'm sorry. He's the one true Chris. I can't help it. It's just true. It's gospel. It's fact.
I don't know what to say to you. You can't pick handsome men that aren't named Chris to be the one true Chris. He's the only Keanu.
Well, I will say, hold on, real quick segue. I do think that I have found the perfect replacement for Chris Pratt because he's canceled. Do you want to know who it is?
Chris Maloney.
It's Chris Maloney. Yeah.
Guys, if you have not listened to the most recent Read All Over, well, I don't know if it'll be the most recent when this comes out, but like the one about episode Home
where Chris Maloney starts.
Household.
There you go. Household.
They talk about how thirsty they are for Chris Maloney for like 20 minutes, and it's hilarious. It's
never
one of
felt
the funniest
more
things. Oh, it's so good. I love him.
Mm-hmm. Molly Sanchez, I feel like she plucked thoughts out of my brain and said them out loud. It was awesome.
Me too.
Anyway, Chris Maloney is the fourth Chris in the one true Chris thing. And now, frankly, I'm even more confused. You know what I'm saying?
Agreed.
Yeah. Okay. All right. However, Keanu Reeves, apparently not in the one true Chris running, even though, let's be real, listener, between you, don't tell Erin. That's what's happening.
He is having a Keanu-sance in a way right now. It's like a renaissance, but with Keanu, kind of like the McConaughey-sance.
In my pants.
Yes.
What?
Remember the McConaughey-sance when Matthew McConaughey became cool again?
That didn't happen in my pants, though.
Yeah, this is the Keanu-sance. And it clearly is happening in your pants.
That's right.
All right.
Okay, so this is a second chance romance, everybody. It's a second chance romance between two childhood friends. And that's how the credits open up. It opens up, right? No.
I don't know what you're about to say. Just say the thing. If you're wrong, I'll correct you.
Okay. What in my brain, they do a bunch of pictures of little kids, but I think that they do the scene first where they introduce themselves and like she shuts the door in his face.
Yes, I believe so. Okay, so they're like two adorable little kids. You've got a little kid, Sasha, and she comes home and the house is empty and there's a note that says, your parents aren't coming home tonight. They got to work at the store. You should make yourself food and then not watch TV. So she turns on the TV, starts eating some Spam. She cuts up her Spam. And then Marcus, her BFF from next door, comes over and is like, hey, my mom made a lot of soup. This is like such a relatable problem. My mom made way too much soup. And if we don't eat the soup tonight, I've got to take the soup to school in my lunch. And I don't want to be the kid who has soup at school in my lunch. And I can really relate to that.
Because then I'm the soup kid.
Yeah. And so she's like, no, I don't want to come eat your soup. And then she slams the door in his face. And then he like thinks it's real. And she's like, I was joking. You're my best friend. I would never slam a door in your face. And they're like, ha ha ha. And then they skip away hand in hand to his house to eat the soup. But I really thought that was going to come back in the movie. Like, I thought, like, later, when they were adults and they were in a big fight in their relationship, maybe she'd slam the door in his face, and then he would think it was a joke, and then it wasn't a joke. Wouldn't that have been devastating? Where were you on that, writers?
Oh, I'm grabbing my boobs.
I know, I wrote it down. I
her.
said, later, she's going to slam the door in his face, and she's going to mean it, and that's going to be, like, the end of their relationship before they get back together for the last big gesture time. But it wasn't.
Can I tell you something about this? I'm forgiving them because Ali Wong wrote this with her childhood best friend, who is also a dude.
Yeah, that's fine, but this is how it should have been written.
Wonderful.
I wrote it better just now.
No, you can't come for Queen Ali Wong. You can't do it. I'm sorry.
And I want to say another thing that's wrong with this little scene is it includes my least favorite thing. Listen, I love this movie. It includes my worst favorite thing or my least favorite thing to see on a TV.
Scissors.
And that is a doorbell.
Oh.
Stop putting motherfucking doorbells in your shows and your movies. Because every time a doorbell rings on the television, all the dogs bark forever. Oh my God, it's the fucking worst. It's in commercials. It's in TV shows. Just make it sound softer or something. Or like less like have somebody knock. What happened to knocking?
I
do not
have
the first
this
10
problem.
seconds.
This is
and
great.
I was like, oh, this is going to be something with doorbells. This is the worst. Anyway, so she goes over and they have dinner at his parents' house. His parents are very sweet.
And her mom...
His mom
like takes her under her wing and she's like, come here, little duckling. That's what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
She's like teaching her how to cook in traditionally Korean styles. And she's like telling her inside things like we Koreans always use scissors to cut everything. And it's like this really cute joke. And she makes her feel really welcome by being like, are you sure you're not Korean? You're so good at that. Oh my gosh.
So Marcus is Korean.
So
I'm not sure what her nationality is. Did they ever say?
Chinese.
She's Chinese. I didn't catch it. Mm-hmm. And so she starts using scissors and she's like, look, you're Korean. It's great. It's really cute.
It's so cute. And then he's like, hey, Dad, can I have some money? I think that Sasha and I should go out tonight because it's Friday night. And like,
he says,
we're
go out
best
on
friends.
the town. What kind of 10-year-old or whatever says something like that?
The best and most dapper.
And then it becomes the best montage. We get all the pictures flying by of them as kids doing all their fun stuff as kids, and then tweens, and then teenagers. And we get like their whole friendship, and then it culminates with them being like 18 and they're fishing.
Yeah.
And they're talking about how to fish, and then Marcus's dad comes up
strikes.
And he's like, your mom's dead. And it's bad.
The matriarch has died.
Yes. And so
then
they do
cut to the funeral.
There is this moment of like, the poor old dad. You know how I feel about poor old men in movies. I can't.
Oh God, I know. They're so lost.
If anything happens to like a lost old sad man who's lonely, oh my God. So old sad dad.
Listen, they're not the same without their one true mate, you know?
He's trying to make coffee for the frickin' funeral.
Yeah, because when somebody dies, you still have to work for everyone.
Yeah, and he doesn't know where the coffee filters are because she always made the coffee, and he gets really sad, and it's very sad, you guys.
And then Marcus opens up the exact cabinet that he was just in because through his grief goggles, he couldn't see the thing that was right in front of his face, and it was so identified. Like I identified with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it was just gorgeous and subtle and yet really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So then she goes into his room after the wake or whatever, or maybe it's a couple days later. I don't know. And she's like, hey, let's go out. We're going out.
I think it's that night.
I think so too. And they go in his car. He's got this shitty Corolla.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's already shitty in 2003 when this takes place.
Yeah.
And then they're hanging out in the Corolla, and then they just start like...
She's hilariously singing D'Angelo.
Yeah.
But she doesn't know the words.
Uh-huh.
And it's really cute to everyone.
And you can see his like...
Baby.
You can see like the creases, his thigh crease V. You know what I'm talking about? The V. You don't remember this video? Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't think I've ever seen this video.
Are you joking right now? Do you have a media by which to watch this on right now?
Yeah.
Cut. D'Angelo. How does it feel? Hard cut.
Okay.
God,
Okay.
Celine Dion and now this? Jesus.
Oh, I already like it.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay.
But anyway.
Okay. So they're sitting there. She's hilariously miss-singing the words. And he laughs about it. And she's like, it's really good to see you laugh again.
Yeah.
And then you guys pause, look into each other's eyes for a minute. And then she goes for it.
Snarf.
And she kisses him.
Snarf.
And he snarf.
Yeah.
It's like a big snarf moment. Yeah. And he pulls back because he's very startled.
Right.
And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, Marcus, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. And as she's apologizing to him, he pauses and then he grabs her, snarfs her right back. Snarf,
and then they snarf in the back seat. Snarf, snarf, snarf.
And then they snarf as they're getting to the back seat.
Yeah.
Frankly, it was impressive.
Yeah. And then they do it in the back seat of that Corolla.
Did you clock her tights underneath her shorts? I don't even know how they did it in the backseat of that Corolla.
You took them off.
Like, that's incredible. 2 layers like that plus underwear. That's
one
just
layer was overalls.
There's like no room back there.
I don't know. I
1 layer was overalls, and you're saying that's easier?
Well, then you don't have to deal with like a shirt situation. I don't know.
Don't you have a shirt under overalls?
Yeah, I don't know why I said it was easier. It just seems like it would be because it's like one thing that covers 2 parts. I don't know why I said it. Anyway, the point is, they're back there. They've had the sex. And it's awkward and weird. And Sasha says, Marcus, your car smells like Parmesan. And he's like, yeah, it's because I have some Parmesan in the glove compartment. Which I think is my favorite line in the movie. Just like the way he's like, yeah, it's because I have a lot of Parmesan in the glove compartment.
Oh, it's so good. So then they go to Burger King.
Yes.
And things go sideways real fast.
Yes.
They're both feeling weird about it. Then they're both trying to call the other one out about being weird about it. It's not working out very well.
Right.
And then she's like, you're not allowed to be a dick just because your mom died. And he's like, and I think she says something to the effect of like, she was really important to me too. Like, I lost someone too, right?
Right.
And he's like, you have parents.
Yeah. He's like, she's my mom. Like, you don't have to like make this about you sort of thing. Anyway, they just get in the big fight. They storm off. Yeah,
she storms off and then they don't speak again for 16 years.
Yes.
Fast forward 16 years. It is 2019, baby. It is now.
She is opening a restaurant. She's on a red carpet. She has a sexy, hot, older boyfriend who's very sexy man.
Oh, Brandon Choi?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very hot, sexy man.
Very sexy. Yeah. When she did an Ellen interview, they pull up a still of her kissing Daniel Day Kim, who plays Brandon Choi.
Sexy
and
man.
She's like, you see that up there? That is a grown woman experiencing joy.
Yes.
Google the interview. It was excellent.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
We meet her BFF, Veronica, who is an extremely pregnant lesbian, pulls some water out from between her thighs for her friend to drink. That's how you know they're best friends. And then Sasha says she's not drinking any water because she put on her Spanx backwards and the hole's in the wrong spot, which is also an indicator that they are best friends.
That's right. No, and then my other favorite part of this is that she goes, did you pull that water out of your thigh gap? And she goes, thank you for calling it a gap.
Right.
I have also never felt more seen. So good.
Why do you think for this scene, I wrote the note, red carpet, etc.?
Well, because that's what they were doing. She and Brandon were doing the red carpet together.
Oh, red carpet, like walking. I was thinking
fiancés.
Like, yep, that makes some more sense. Yeah. And then they ride home in the car, and it's clear that they are not compatible at all because she's like talking to him, and he's just going,
They're PR couple,
right?
But she thinks it's actually real.
Yeah.
And I really liked this transition though, because she looks at him and she's like, ugh, like if we're not going to talk, I'm going to put on some music, okay? And he goes, again. So she puts on music, and then that is the music in the next scene that he's listening to in his shitty childhood bedroom.
Meaning Marcus, who's smoking pot in his childhood bedroom, and then his dad comes in, and they do a hilarious dance-off together. It's great.
His dad comes in and he's like, what are you doing in that mirror? And he goes, I'm dancing in the mirror. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like, I challenge you to a dance-off. It's the best. They have an adorable relationship.
They do. Then Sasha talks to a hot older boyfriend who wants to postpone the wedding. She's trying to do wedding planning, and he's like, let's postpone it because let's like be apart together. I want to travel the world. I want to go to India. So she says okay, but she's pretty upset about it. So much. Yes.
Yeah, wait. Real quick, I have to do a quick detail here because in the that scene, she's like, what do you think about black roses? And he's like, And she's like, yeah, I'm going to do for black flowers what I did for fish sauce ice cream. I'm sure that if anybody could make it work, it was Sasha, but I was just like full body shudder.
I could see fish sauce ice cream. Did you know that Martha Washington, this is going to be what we call what do you call it? what do you call it when we go off?
Tangent?
A tangent. Are you ready for a long tangent about Martha Washington, everyone? It's fine.
Yes. Teach me things.
So I was at Mount Vernon, and there's a place where, with Kate, there's a place where they have like ice cream, where they put the ice cream at Mount Vernon because Martha Washington was really into this new thing called ice cream. And she was specifically into oyster ice cream.
Oh,
yeah. And then,
Martha.
like a little while later, we were at Monticello, I think, and they were talking about James Madison. Or maybe we were somewhere that I'm aware. Don't at me about Monticello being a Thomas Jefferson place, but they were talking about James Madison, or maybe we were somewhere else. I don't remember. But they were talking about Dolly Madison and how she was the first lady to bring ice cream to the White House and how she was obsessed with oyster ice cream. And I raised my hand and told the tour guide that only last week I was at Mount Vernon and they said that Martha Washington was the first lady, period, but also that she had ice cream there. So Dolly Madison could not have been the first person to bring in ice cream and that she was obsessed with oyster ice cream. And that tour guide was like, who told you that? And I was like, the tour guide at Mount Vernon.
Oh
and they're like, no, what's their name? Like, they were pissed. Like, the Dolly Madison people were, like, pissed about the Martha Washington people. And, like, I started some shit.
You don't want to get into history turf war.
No, not in D.C.
No,
especially. That's where all of it is. No. That's where all the history is.
Listen, that's where all of our
here's the point.
Sure.
Oyster ice cream was all the rage
true, guys.
In 1770 and 80, whatever. So,
oof, I don't know,
I don't see why fish sauce ice cream couldn't be all the rage today.
Yeah. Like I said, I think Sasha could pull it off. I'm just saying, I have fish sauce in my house and I just don't see it. Okay, moving on.
Okay, so she's real upset about this breakup. So upset that she goes and cries in the storage room away from everybody.
This is after being like, it's great, it's so great. Right. And then she goes and has like a little meltdown.
Yeah, and she's going to go to San Francisco and open up a new restaurant. She brings Veronica, who's like her assistant, and they go to San Francisco.
Assistant and other high school BFF.
Yes.
And they're going home, you guys. This is a pilgrimage home.
Right. They talk about seeing that albino alligator in San Francisco, which apparently they have. They have one in New Orleans, too. Albino alligator. So anyway, she is renting a house, and then all of a sudden, who rings the doorbell but childhood BFF?
Mr. Kim!
Marcus and his dad. Well, mostly his dad to start off with. And they're going to do the heating and air conditioning for the house, because that's what they do.
Also, really, really good question that Marcus asked that's never, ever answered is, if you're renting, why are you rehauling the entire heating and AC?
You don't know the reason
without
for that?
The owner. No, why?
Melody. Fucking Veronica set this up. That's the whole point.
I understand. I get that she did that. I just don't. I don't know why. Like the renter would sign off on it. I don't know why the landlord would allow it.
They
like I don't know why
didn't.
Sasha would be like, yeah.
Veronica just did this and paid for it to get Sasha and Marcus together because she knew that Marcus would have to come over multiple times to like install her air and like clean her pipes. Yo, that's what she did.
Okay.
For her.
Okay. Yeah. All right. And
then Marcus and Veronica are talking and they're catching up, and Marcus says, "You removed all your piercings," and she goes, "Not all of them." And then they stare at each other for like 10 minutes.
And then as soon as Sasha comes back in the room, he is so funny. This is like a 30 seconds of hilarity, because he's just like, "Hey, Sasha, you're here. It's now. We're in the modern times, and you're." Wow. He's just
the dad's great. He directly asks her how much money she has now.
Yes.
Then he goes and gets a crumpled up flyer from the van of Marcus's band and is like, "You need to come see their band. They're so good." You know, like Mr. Kim is pretty great.
Mr. Kim is the tits.
Yeah. She says she's not coming to see the band.
Yeah. She's like, "I'm busy."
The next day, Marcus comes over and he's installing some stuff. With some forced proximity, and he talks about how she's got like a different phone voice than she does in real life. It just shows us Marcus knows Sasha in a way that like
he knows her
new friends or whatever, her like rich friends, her red carpet food friends, they don't know her. Marcus knows her
like intimately, you guys.
Yeah.
And also in other ways.
After that, it shows them like texting with each other and like goofing off, like on it's like really I am. It's very cute.
Well, she goes to his show.
Wait, not yet.
Oh,
Well, okay, the next scene is kind of inconsequential. I realize we're out of time. But it's the Gooby Chairs scene. And I just really liked this, like, little appearance by Casey What's-Her-Face. I can't remember her last name. Where she just, like...
She was in Happy Endings.
Yes, where she just, like, talks way too much about a type of chair that she wants to put in her restaurant called Gooby Chairs. And then, like, Sasha walks away and the friend is like, she's going to have me fire you.
Like, yeah, she goes, she's going to fire me, isn't she? And Veronica's like, no, she'll have me fire you. Yeah.
Anyway.
It's so good.
The parents show up, Sasha's parents, even though she didn't invite them. And it's very clear that
she's
they
harboring
weren't...
some childhood issues.
Yes. They weren't around in her childhood, and now they're trying to make up for it, and Sasha's, like, not cool with it. We find out that they hate tipping. This whole family hates tipping. It's very funny.
They're very cheap. Yeah.
Mostly tipping, though, is the thing.
Right.
But anyway, it's important because they tell Sasha that they're having a birthday party for her niece? Nephew?
A cousin.
Like another kid in the family.
Sort.
Which is kind of like, okay, you know, they never threw her any birthday parties or anything like that.
Right.
Okay, so then she goes to the concert. She's hanging out alone, and she's like, I may as well go to this concert. His band...
She brings Veronica, pregnant AF.
Yeah. And his band
so good.
Is awesome. You get, like, a little interlude with the band before the show where they talk about band conflicts. And, like, one of them ordered, like, 3,000 tennis balls to sell, which is really funny. And you can kind of tell...
They don't have any songs about tennis balls.
No, not at the time. They need to write a song about tennis balls in order to market the tennis balls. They want to, like, spread out and, like, go play in other venues in San Francisco. And, like, Marcus is like, nah, we're fine here. He's like a grumpy Gus.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the band is so good. And she's wearing a little cute yellow hat. And they're grooving.
She is. And he sees her.
Yeah. They meet outside the bar.
She's super into it.
The one friend that's in the band checks in with Veronica, who knows her. He's like, wants to let her know that he's an ally for lesbians and thanks her for her service. It's so funny.
It's so funny. Oh, man, it's so funny. So then as they're like all talking, they're talking about hanging out. Mm-hmm. And this woman comes and accosts Marcus. Uh-huh. And she like grabs him and she's like, babe, you're so good. And like kisses up on his face and burp. And the friend that was like, thank you for your service is like, oh, I suddenly have to vote and wash my hair and get a dog or something. Uh-huh. And like he splits because obviously this woman is terrible.
Yeah.
And she's starstruck about Sasha.
She has like crazy makeup, crazy hair. She's an Asian woman with dreadlocks. It's a lot.
Yeah.
Later on, Sasha says, how do you even get dreadlocks into Asian hair? Like, how does that even happen? And then Marcus goes, I don't really understand it, but I know a crochet tool is involved. Which I thought was very funny. And she asks if the carpet matches the drapes.
Yep.
Anyway,
so good.
She does this thing to Sasha where she's like, you're a food person. You have to let me cook for you. It's like the pet peeve of my life.
Never crossed my mind. Like, can I just say, I thought about this today. The only relatable thing in the first 50 Shades of Grey book was when the mom is suddenly like, oh my God, Christian's here. Oh my God, I invited him over for dinner. What the fuck do I cook for a billionaire?
Right, yeah.
Like, that meltdown of hers was the only natural thing about that novel.
But this is so indicative of who this character is because she's so like self-possessed and like just believes that she's got everything right. Like, but yeah, anytime anyone's like, oh my God, you have to do this. I hate it. I like immediately, I will never do whatever you tell me I have to do in that voice. Oh my God, you have to. No, I will never do it. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you're about to say.
Can I just say last night we were watching, I don't remember what we were watching. Anyway, Michael and I were talking about Always Be My Maybe, and he was talking about Randall Park, and he was like, I just don't like him. There's something about him that's a little bit smarmy to me. I didn't like him
before this either.
Yeah. And so I was like, I know, I really, really liked him in this role. And then I was like, I know I've seen him before somewhere else, but like, what have I seen him in? And he goes, Ant-Man. And I was like, oh, was he one of like the stoner friends in Ant-Man? And he goes, no, he was the FBI agent. And I was like, oh my God, he was.
I haven't seen Ant-Man.
And Well, it doesn't matter. The point is, Michael looked at me and looked away and then goes, "You have never sounded like more of a white girl." Oh my God, he was.
And he hated it.
She's like, "Oh no." I know. And then he goes, "I thought for a while you were doing that ironically, but I think now you might have just embraced it." And I was like, What? No, I certainly have not. Anyway. Okay.
So this dinner is awful. She makes like ketchup noodles with like chopped up hot dogs in them, and then they have to pretend that they like it.
Vienna sausages.
It's really bad, but
somehow that is oof.
Yeah. But the girlfriend talks about all these like civic awareness and like programs she's into and like helping the poor and stuff. And then Sasha points out that they're eating off of Paula Deen plates. And that Paula Deen's like a racist. And then the girlfriend is like, "That's why I stole them." The butter lady, racist butter lady.
The racist butter lady was one of my favorite things.
Yeah. I just like, she's like, "Yeah, that's why I stole them."
That's right.
It's perfect. All right. So,
okay, so they fuck off and he offers her a ride home.
In the Corolla.
That
he still has from 1994.
Things are falling off of this Corolla.
He needs a tire iron to open it.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So he takes her home and they sort of like banter and it seems like they're going to be friends again. And it's kind of exciting for everyone.
Yes. And then he comes to, so they go to the birthday party. He shows up at the birthday party. Yeah. All right. So at the birthday party, she gets a call from hot old fiance.
Yes.
And he says that he wants to like, he doesn't
not
say
get married.
Break up, but he wants to like do different things for whatever it is. It's like tantamount to break up.
Yeah. He just says, "I don't want to get married. We're not going to get married. Let's not get married." I think.
Well, that's what he says in the trailer, but then when you see the movie, he doesn't actually say that.
Oh.
Because I remember specifically seeing that in the trailer and then waiting for it in the movie, and then that's not what happened.
No, you're totally right. In the movie, he calls her and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. He's calling me." And he wants to talk about the branding for her restaurant. And she's like, "We are in a relationship. Are we or are we not in a relationship?"
Right.
So it's basically like, we're done. And
she screams at him. She gives him the finger even though they're not FaceTiming. The whole party hears.
She's saying shit left and right. Yeah. It's so good.
She tells him to eat shit and die or something like that. She tells him to get malaria and die.
Yes.
Oh, also, and the night before she saw him posting all over Facebook with Padma Lakshmi, which is really funny. She's like, "Stupid, perfect Padma."
Stupid, talented, beautiful Padma Lakshmi.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, and his dad meets a Diana Ross impersonator at the kid's birthday party because she was cheaper than Beyonce.
But also first he hires a Diana Ross impersonator and then we find out that he's a big Diana Ross fan. And so that makes me wonder if he hired a Diana Ross impersonator as a date.
No, he didn't. No, that's his dad.
Oh, okay.
No, their parents, the cheap parents.
Oh, right.
did.
You're right. It's a different set of parents. Well, I just was thinking when he walks up to her and he's like, "I'm a huge Diana Ross fan." I was like, "You hired her because you like her." I didn't think about it. Okay. So after the birthday party, they go to this Asian diner that they went growing up. It's really cute.
They go to like a dumpling house.
They get all the noodles and the big bowls and they get free stuff because he learned to speak Cantonese just so he'd get better service at this one specific diner.
Yep.
It's just really cute. They talk about their childhood and, banter.
Well, and she rails against Brandon Choi and he's adorable about that too. So she's having like a post-breakup meltdown and it's nice.
And you see them texting each other over the next few days. Like, he goes to his girlfriend's slam poetry thing, but he's, like, texting her, and she's, like, alone in her house, and she's texting him. Then there's kind of a turning point, because he goes to a spa with his dad, and they're getting, like, beat to shit at the spa. This Korean spa.
Erin.
What?
It's my happy place. It's everything I ever want. If you want to make me the happiest clam in the ocean.
We've already heard about how you got beat up by a one-eyed Turkish man and it was your favorite thing.
Yeah, you take me to one of those spas where they just get you naked, they don't care about your parts, and they just scrub you within an inch of your life. That is what will make me the happiest. Full body exfoliation from a stranger is one of the best things that has ever happened to me.
Oh, God. That sounds like my nightmare.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. It's so good. Anyway. So they talk, and the dad is like, hey, she's the best. You're dumb, and Jenny's gross.
Right.
So if you could recalibrate your brain a little bit and figure out whether or not you want Sasha, because I think you do, that would be awesome. And he's all blustery about it, and he's like, no, burp, burp.
But he convinces him to tell her how he feels.
Yeah.
So they meet the next day at the market, and they say they both have big news. And then he lets her go first, and she says, I met someone, and he's amazing, and I want you to come meet him tonight at this very fancy restaurant. So now he can't say the thing that he's going to say. She has a hickey. Oh, yeah. She's
Thank goodness.
This is from
she
him.
said it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I think you should go see a doctor.
Yeah. You look like you need medical attention.
That's right.
Okay.
So they go to this crazy fancy restaurant. He is wearing a tux.
A burgundy, roughly tuxedo, which he wore to prom.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So good. And
do you want to take it from
all
here?
All of a sudden, she's like, oh, I will. You know I will.
All right.
So she's like, here he comes. Here is my new love. I see him. And the clouds part, and it's a slow-mo situation, and in walks the one true Chris, Keanu Reeves.
You know that song?
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
They play it in spin class all the time. Every time you go up a fucking hill, they play that song for no kind of reason.
Yeah, they do. Oh, nothing gets me more motivated than that song. And in this context, that motivation had nowhere to go. So
she takes a picture of Marcus and his girlfriend when they see that it's Keanu Reeves, and they're all like stunned. Yeah. She's like, look at this. Look at your faces. Look at your faces when you saw that I fucked Keanu.
So
hilarious.
Good. It's so good. Then he comes over and he's like, I miss your soul. And she's like, I missed your butt. And he's like, I missed your spirit.
I missed your
lips.
The best one is I missed your flesh. That's the best one.
No, the best one is she says, I missed your thumbs. You're so good with your thumbs.
I missed it.
It's a callback from that movie he was in.
No, what are you talking about?
It's called Siberia or something. Erin.
I don't know.
This was a whole thing on the cult. This angel baby, I think it might have been Mary, grabbed a bunch of gifs of this sex scene in this movie that Keanu was in. And he literally, she's on top, riding him into oblivion. And he licks his thumb in order to get at that clit. Rub, rub, rub. Get
what
that
movie
clit.
is this?
Rub, rub, rub. I think it's called Siberia. Hold on. I don't know. Hold on.
Cut out every time you say the title. Are you saying Cytheria? What are you saying?
No, it's where you live, Siberia.
I don't think it's called Siberia.
Listen, I don't know. It is. It's called Siberia.
Okay, I'll watch it. All right,
and he
fine.
goes, and he licks it, and then he rubs right on that clit. And it is a callback from Keanu Reeves' movie. And it's the best thing ever. Right. Ali Wong is a genius, because you know that was improvised. You know it was improvised. You know it, Erin. You can't deny it. I want you to have several seats.
So, like, Marcus compliments his suit, and he's like, yeah, Tom Ford made it custom, and he's like, compliments his glasses, and he's like, they're not even real, they don't even have lenses, my eyes are perfect. Marcus says that his tux is from prom.
Was the best thing.
That he wore to his high school prom, and Keanu's like, yeah, I dropped out of high school, I just wanted to work, you know, like, everything is like perfect.
Erin,
yes.
Do you remember that time where you texted me and you were like, the only thing that will make this movie more perfect is if Keanu Reeves plays himself? Yes. And then all of your dreams came true?
They did. As soon as Marcus said,
did it, Erin.
She's dating Keanu Reeves in like slow motion, I was like, thank God this isn't like just a character. He's playing himself. So good. Marcus is like trying to smooch his girlfriend. Like, of course, Sasha and Keanu very like all over each other. Marcus keeps trying to like smooch the dreadlocks of his girlfriend. And she keeps being like, nah, get away from me. Like, not in front of Keanu.
I have seen the perfection that is Keanu.
The waiter comes and Keanu asks if they have any dishes that play with the concept of time. And they're like, of course we do. It's a meat that you eat while listening to the sounds of the animal that they were from. They serve
that it was. Oh, and I love that everybody at the table is just like sort of daintily eating and kind of grimacing, and Keanu's crying and saying, I'm sorry. And meanwhile, Sasha is just like going to town.
Going
cut,
at it.
Choo,
it's
choo,
so funny
choo.
because it's so quiet. And then Keanu just all of a sudden goes, I'm sorry. Like that. It's so good.
And nobody flinches.
Oh my God. No, because it's Keanu. They serve them literal fish food.
Keanu.
And Marcus keeps being like, this is fish food. And they keep being like, fish flakes. And he's like, yeah, fish food.
Which is fish food.
Yeah.
You dudes.
Keanu calls him Henry multiple times. He asks about his band, and he calls them mediocre and obscure as a compliment.
As a compliment.
Yeah.
He's like, the man that toils in his mediocrity is the wisest or something. And she's like, listen, I know how that could have sounded, but like it's a compliment. So you could not be weird about it.
Oh God, the waiter says that everything on the table is edible, and Marcus tries to eat the napkin, and they're like, no, not the napkins. Like,
yeah, his girlfriend looks over and she's like, not the napkin, Marcus, honestly.
So embarrassed.
Dessert is lavender flavored sugar bubbles, and I've never been more offended.
The dumb girlfriend is like, it tastes like clouds. So Keanu goes out for some air. The girlfriend is like, I love air. So they leave together.
I love air.
And then
it
Marcus
tastes like
is
clouds.
like, he's a douche. This guy sucks. He's insulting me. And Sasha gets a little tip with him about how he's insulting her new boyfriend. But then is my second.
He comes back. He has paid the check.
Because it was a ruse that he needed air. This is my second favorite line in the film. The second only to, my glove box is full of Parmesan. Marcus is like, you paid the check. You didn't even let me like try to pay it or fight you for it. And Keanu goes, the check was $6,400. It's one residual paycheck from my hit movie Speed. Just like, from my hit movie Speed. All right. So they go back to Keanu's apartment. They play like a truth or truth game.
It's a hotel.
Oh, right. A hotel.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in really nice hotels for work. That is
I even have written down hotel and I still said apartment because I just couldn't wrap my brain over it.
No, I can't wrap my brain around it either.
Yes.
They play a version of Truth or Dare called Icebreaker that Keanu describes as apocalyptic. Because of course he does. And this devolves quickly.
Yeah. Everything Marcus says, every answer to every question, Keanu's like, that's disgusting. You're awful. Like, they talk about their weirdest fantasies, and Marcus says Jasmine in Aladdin when she's got her midriff top on.
That's right.
And Keanu's like, a cartoon? That's really fucked up, Marcus. It's really fun. And Sasha says, that Marcus was her first childhood crush. Yeah, and Marcus like, why didn't you tell me?
She was like, I had a crush on you for 18 years.
Yeah, he's like, why didn't you tell me? We could have like been together. And she's like, I don't know, I was scared and I was a child. And Keanu's like, this game is supposed to be played at a pace and you guys are slowing it down.
Anyway, so this finally devolves into Marcus daring Keanu to smash a vase over his head. Yes. So he does. Gash in his forehead and everything. Then
he smashes over his head and he's like, see, Marcus, I can do it. And then he yells, I never cower. He's like, Marcus, strike me.
That's right. I dare you to strike me. And Marcus is like, I don't even know what that means. He's like, I'm getting an energy off of you. I think you want to fight me. So go ahead.
Strike me. Punch me in the face. And then Marcus does. And then it...
Wait, and the stupid girlfriend in the background is like, yeah, punch him. Sasha's trying to intervene. It's not working out.
No.
So they punch, and then he punches him, I think, a second time. Yeah. Turns into a full-on brawl. Then Sasha gets them away from each other, and she looks at Keanu, and she's like, we're leaving. You're a dick.
Yeah.
And Keanu's like, oh, this has taken a sad, sad turn. Let me at least call you an Uber. It's so good.
Girlfriend stays to talk to Keanu.
Oh, yeah. Girlfriend full on, like, it breaks up in the same way that douchey Brandon Choi, like, break up without breaking up.
Yeah, this is the last time we see her. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're in the Uber having a full-on crazy fight where they're, like, calling each other out on their stupidity. He's like, you never stop. And she's like, don't you come at me for being for going after things. You've been standing still for 16 years and
Corolla.
you're like scared to do everything.
Band. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, I love the band, but you're like not even doing anything with it. Like you're just so scared. And he's like, I'm not scared. And then he kisses her and it's a reversal, you guys. He kisses her and he pulls back and he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And then she grabs him and you guys, it's by the bow tie strings because let's review. He's still in his prom tux. Oh.
And then they zoom out and it's an Uber pool. Keanu didn't even call them a total Uber. It was an Uber pool. So then they have sex.
Guys, it is on TM.
They have all the
and
sex.
You guys, I didn't know this, but Randall Park can get it.
Oh my gosh. When they clip to him like shirtless in the bed and they're like done having sex, and like it's not like he's all absy or anything, but like he can get it.
Oh man, no, I'm sorry. My moment was when he takes off his shirt on the stairwell and you get to like see his back muscles and then he full on picks her up so you get to see the flex of the bicep and then the shadow on his pectoral. Like, get it.
He's got like a tank top on, like a wife beater style, and I don't know the better name for that. I'm sure it's out there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. And he's wearing it and it looks very good on him.
It looks very good.
But when they clipped to pillow text, or pillow texts, why would they
pillow text? I like it.
Pillow talk.
That's what
that
you
really
and I do
sealed it for me.
night.
It really sealed it. He had like his arms up behind his head.
Oh yeah.
Good work.
Yeah. And he was just a delicious slab of beef there.
Yeah.
You know?
And they joke around and they're like, we missed each other, and
it's so
they're
sweet.
joking around about how he punched Keanu Reeves, and she said he reminded her of home, and it's very cute. And then it clips to her like at his. It's kind of like they're having a happy relationship montage.
It's a relationship montage.
Yeah, like she's at his show. He's singing his new song about a tennis ball. She's telling people, she's like, "That's my boyfriend. If you hit on him, I'll find your social security number. I'll fuck up your life. It's my boyfriend up there.
Cute.
It's so good. It reminded me of me."
Oh man!
They have dinner together. She's doing the scissors like she did with his mom. She's cutting up those veggies with those scissors. It's just like it's
just so nice.
Yeah.
And then after that is the birth.
No, so they go to a red carpet and he holds her purse for her. He's got to wear a big coat. When he wore a tux to that fancy restaurant, she told him that famous rich people dress like homeless people now. So he dressed like a homeless person, and the guy's like, this is coats only. And then he's got to wear a big coat from a dead guy.
Yeah. And meanwhile, when she picked him up, she wasn't like, hey, just throw on a jacket. Like, Sasha, you're not preparing your friend very well here, you know? Like, she gets mad later on about...
It was the birth. I'm sorry.
Right?
I'm sorry. I skipped my note.
I have no notes. Just FYI,
but
everyone.
Really, all that happens, Veronica has her baby, and she says something about going to New York City, and he didn't realize that she was going to New York City so soon, and so it kind of puts a time limit on it. Then there's this red carpet.
And it was almost like going to the New York City still, and she's like, "Yeah, I mean, we're boning, but like that doesn't stop my life. I have a restaurant to open up. I was actually hoping you were going to come with me.
Right,
I think it would be really cool to be there with you."
Yeah.
And he's like, and they just sort of leave it awkwardly. Right. And she's joking about how she's going to be a long distance godmother for the baby and blah, blah, blah. And then they go to this red carpet thing. And like, she gets mad at him later on about how, he gets rude about her life. And she's like, you don't have to like my life or whatever. You just have to realize that it's mine.
And it's important,
and this is one of those moments where I'm like, you should have prepared him better for your life. Right. It's really awkward to walk into this thing that you could have been like, hey, toss on a jacket. Doesn't matter which one. Toss one on. You made this really hard for him from the get-go. Anyway.
Yeah. But she's insulted him because on the red carpet, they asked who her date was. And she says he's just a regular guy. So he already feels a little miffed. And then when they get home...
But she says that with a beaming smile on her face.
But he takes it weird,
say that.
You know?
Yes.
And then he insults her food and says that Asian food wasn't meant to be served in shot glasses. It's meant to be served in a big bowl. And you're creating elevated Asian cuisine just to please rich white people.
And he says Asian cuisine shouldn't be elevated. It should be authentic. Yeah. And she's like,
so now you hate my whole thing? You know, then it's a big thing. But if you remember when on my second time watching this, in that Gooby Chairs scene,
Yeah.
Casey What's-Her-Face says we were going to print the menus on rice paper. And Sasha says, rich white ladies love that. I love that. Do that. And there's a couple things throughout the thing that's like, yeah, rich white people will eat that shit up. And so, like, he's not wrong.
No. And she knows that, but she also, like, doesn't want to really admit that.
And I think that's why it makes her so mad.
Yeah, of course.
So she's like,
don't come to my fucking
party. And then she's like, Marcus, I love you. I want to be with you. I want you to come with me to New York City. Say you'll come with me to New York City. And he won't. And he's like, I don't want to come with you. And then they're done.
Yeah.
Then they're over.
And it's really cinematic because he's on the balcony and she's over like down the hill by her car shouting up at him in like sort of a reverse. Oh no, I'm going to lose it. That's not right. John Cusack.
Oh, okay.
Moment.
I was going to go
she's
Romeo
like,
and Juliet.
I'm laying my heart on the line for you.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. That too. Yeah. Anyway, so they break up.
Yeah, they break
hardcore.
Up. Long story short here, there's like a whole decline for Marcus where he finds his dad making out with Diana Ross, the impersonator from the party. He says to his dad that they broke up because he can't go to New York City. The dad's like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not my caretaker. Yep. You don't need to be here for me. You don't need to be driving that Corolla. And, you know, like all these things you don't need to do. You're stuck on pause and it's not okay. Yeah. And don't let me be the excuse for this. And he gets real drunk for this big audition that he has for the band and he pees on stage. It's pretty embarrassing.
We get to see his butt. Also, Randall Park can get it.
Yeah.
Even like drunk bad Randall Park,
right?
I guess, can get it. Ugh.
So then, like,
I don't know.
Marcus starts turning it around and we get kind of a montage of him like cleaning up his room and like doing stuff
while he's
leaving her.
And we get messages that he's leaving her, these voicemails. And it's like, it's the way that they show passage of time. And he's like, hey, so guess what? I moved out of my house. Yeah. I did this. I did that. The band is doing great.
We got an online store. We got a new audition and we killed it the second time after the first time when I peed on stage. And, you know, you see her opening the restaurant in New York City. He goes to the restaurant in San Francisco to try to find her. Veronica's there. He finds, I didn't like this, but he finds a whole room full of the merch for his band because she's been buying it up.
Bing, boom, bong logistics with Melody.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If it was like maybe like a Redbubble situation, but from what I saw and from all of the merch the physical merch that they had throughout the movie, I got the impression that he took over merch and he would be the one writing the addresses on the packages and sending them to places, right? So I was just like, logistically, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Because he would be the one sending all of these things to D'Angelo.
It wasn't even she did it under the name D'Angelo.
It's very cute.
Don't you think he'd get that too? But the thing that bothered me was I wanted his band to be actually doing good and actually selling merch. I didn't want Sasha to have been the one to do it. This happened in another book. I think it might have been like One Hot December or something like that, where it turned out it was the other person buying the thing or something like weird like that. And it's like, you want the person to be succeeding on their own merit, not because the other person did it for them.
Yeah.
You know?
I got the impression that they were selling a lot more than that. But yeah, now that I think about it, it was an entire room full of merch.
I would have liked it if he went in there and he saw a poster, like some small collection of his merch because she wanted it because she's a fan, instead of she subsidized him as his entire merch shop, you know?
Right. Absolutely.
But anyway, that convinces him he's going to go to the grand opening for the restaurant in New York City. He goes into the Tom Ford.
No, he's going to her award.
Oh, yeah, her award. She's getting a big Food and Wine magazine award. Sorry. So he goes into Tom Ford to get a suit because that's where Keanu Reeves said he got his suit. He's like, they're like, this is a really good scene. They go up to him and they're like,
so good.
Hi, sir. Is there anything we can help you with today? And he's like, cut the fucking attitude. I'm here for a suit.
Yeah.
My friend Keanu Reeves told me to come here.
You know him?
Do you know him? I punched him in the face. All right. And there's this like one suit on this display and he's like, that one? I want that one. And the guy's like, all right, sir. Would you like any champagne? And he's like, no. Of course I want fucking champagne. It's great.
Pour it now.
They put it on him.
Sees the
shirt costs like $10,000.
Yeah, he sees the tag for only the shirt that is $12,500. He immediately does a huge champagne spit take, and then he goes, "Get it off me! It's burning! It's burning! Get off me!"
So then he goes to Suits and Stuff and gets 2 suits for $212.36. Comes with a free belt.
That's right.
And then he goes...
And 2 pairs of pants.
And he goes to her thing and he does big gesture.
Wait, and then, but her parents show up at her house too, and they're like, "We know that you didn't support you, but we went to your restaurant and we paid full price. We had so many pictures we could have shown them.
We tipped. I got extra shrimp."
It was so good. You know that shrimp was like $15 on its own minimum,
right?
If not like,
per
more.
Shrimp.
So anyway, then he shows up and he does this, like he said, the grand gesture.
Pretends to be a reporter. You know how it goes.
He's in the pool of reporters, you guys. And he says, "I wanted to do this. I wanted to figure out a way on the plane to say this perfectly, but I'm just going to say it badly because I can't figure it out. I want to be with you. I want to live my life with you. I want to make you laugh. And I want to have lots of sex with you. I wish I hadn't said that because I felt like I cheapened it. But I want to have babies with you. And I want to do all the things with you. And I want to support you. And I want to travel with you. I want to hold you." He says, "In conclusion, Sasha Tran, can I hold your purse?" And she's like, "That was the bad way?" Oh, you guys. So I'm getting into pitches only dogs can hear because it's so good.
And then he goes to a restaurant. And she shows them that the restaurant is inspired by his mom and their family together and all of her recipes.
Did you cry actual tears?
No, I kind of felt like, no.
Guys, the moment that she looked at him and she says, "This is what I want to do. I want to make food that makes people feel like home."
Oh, that was very sweet. But I also kind of felt like I stole all your mom's recipes to make millions of dollars on this restaurant without telling you about it.
I knew you were going to come.
And I'm making Korean food now and I'm like not Korean. Yeah. And like there was a lot of that I was just like, maybe you should have asked first before you stole this family's recipes and like made a restaurant based off. I don't know. I'm glad they were cool with it though.
No, it's called Judy's Way.
Oh, it's very sweet. She's so dedicated to the lady,
but like background too.
But think about this: they were broken up and real pissed at each other when she went to New York and did this and like stole this.
Yeah. I wouldn't have seen it that way. Plus, they're going to be married soon, so like communal property, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, it's beautiful and
it's so
and it ends with like the band is going to do a tour, like a cross country tour, and like end up in New York City, and the band's going to come out and do band stuff. The band's really good.
That's right.
And the ending credits
the band is so good
are to the best song that is I Punched Keanu Reeves.
That's right.
Yeah.
Best believe I punched Keanu Reeves good. And it was better than any scene you could see in Speed. So good. Oh man.
All right.
This movie was a delight and a treasure. And it's going to be something that I rewatch. I'm going to try to get Michael to watch it even though I've seen it twice. He was like, "Oh yeah, what if we watch that Always Be My Maybe movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I would love that. I've seen it once. We can totally..." I shouldn't have told him I saw it.
Never tell a man that you've seen it. They always want to show you a new thing. You can never tell a man that you've already seen something. It ruins it for them.
"Oh, if you've seen it."
No.
If then I don't need to see it.
They don't want to be shown. They want to show you things. That's my...
I was so dumb.
Yeah, that's my men are from Mars, women are from Venus advice for the day.
Take?
That's my hot take.
I like it.
Yeah. All right. Do you have a lady love?
Oh, fuck. You know what? I do.
Yeah.
Today, I loved myself today.
Yeah?
I was on a bit of a downward
the details, smell.
Scale. Okay. Right. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
I was on a bit of a downward slump because I was on such a big extroverted high after your wedding.
Right.
Like the whole weekend was just fucking magical. You were goddamn radiant.
Mm-hmm.
I loved seeing I loved seeing in person that, David loves you the way you deserve to be loved. And it was so nice to see all the people I've heard all these stories about.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It was just the best time. So then I got home and I was like, oh God, there's real life and stuff. And it was kind of hard. So this morning I did a spa day in a series of stages. I started by, it was my turn to get up with the kids. So I get up with the kids. And I started by doing a clay mask while feeding everybody breakfast. Xiaomei, Valor was very confused by my entire countenance, but we powered through.
Yeah. Did your face look a little weird? And your kid didn't know who you were?
Oh,
I can't get dogs to love me right now, okay? All right? And they sense by smell. Okay? And they're still pretty fucked up on my face.
You are goddamn beautiful.
Was I?
That's all I'm saying. Okay, so anyway, then when Michael woke up, I did all of that, and then I did a clarifying shampoo in the shower, and then I put on a really deep condition, and then I got out and I put on a moisturizing like sheet mask, like the one I did on the plane. I know you're horrified by that, but I did a sheet mask on the plane. No regrets.
On the way to the wedding.
Hashtag no regrets. The young werewolf sitting next to me would not stop smelling my face.
Oh yeah.
Then
you have to tell that story on the Patreon.
I will. And then I rinsed it all out, and like I just feel like a new, clarified, exfoliated, beautiful goddess. Yeah. So work some spa time into your day, everybody. Just work it in. You know, you don't have to take like, time. If I had been like, I need to reserve 45 minutes to do this thing, which is what I normally do, and then I just end up not doing anything. So if you got to do it, you work it in. Yeah. That's my lady love.
All right.
That's right. What's your lady love?
When I covered myself in a blanket like Michael Jackson's youngest son and went to the movies last night, I can't think of anyone else who put a blanket over their face to go outside except for that child. Who's like a grown-up now. Sorry, what? There's nothing wrong with that kid. He's fine. He's grown up.
No, there's not. I just can't help making that sound anytime the words Michael and Jackson are said next to each other.
This person is an independent person in the world right now, and he would appreciate if you don't make those sounds about him, Blanket Jackson, who has another name that I don't know what it is.
His name was actually Blanket.
Was it? Ooh. No.
I'm going to Google it
now. But anyway, I put a bag over my head and I went to this movie, Booksmart, which was very good. Go see Booksmart. It's like super bad for girls.
I really want to see that.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very, very cute, very funny. That was the end of it.
That's your lady love?
Yeah, that was all of it. We're on a time crunch. I told you we were going to get this done in an hour and 30 minutes, and it's an hour and 20, and it's going to take at least 20 minutes to say all the places you can find us online. Do you want me to start doing that? You can find us.
I'm so sorry, everyone. Yeah. His name was Prince Michael Jackson II.
There you go.
I don't know why his name was Blanket. Oh, his dad called him Blanket. So it was
a nickname because they always put a blanket over his face to take him outside.
Oh.
Nickname. And that's now my new nickname is Blanket. Because that's also how I have to go outside so that people don't kill me with pitchforks. You can find us on Instagram at Heaving Bosoms, on Twitter at Heaving_Bosoms, on Facebook, Heaving Bosoms Podcast. The closed Facebook group is the Heaving Bosoms Geriatric Friendship Cult. If you'd like to see pictures Melody took with bears at my wedding, that is the place to do it.
They're glorious.
You can find merch on Redbubble, all of our catchphrases made by independent artists named
Rachel Ross.
Yes. Made all of our designs. They're very great. Redbubble Heaving Bosoms. And you can get our extra bonus content like Psycho Stripper on our Patreon, which you can find at Patreon/Heaving Bosoms Podcast.
Heaving Bosoms Podcast.
There you go.
Yes.
Or if you go to our website, which is heavingbosoms.com, you can find links to bonus content, the Heaving Bosoms Reading Embrace, and other joyful things. Is that it?
Yes. Yeah, and we're still donating double the new pledges and increased pledges for June and July. So if you're on the fence about Patreon, now's the time.
Now's the time.
We're donating it all to the Yellowhammer Fund.
Yep.
All right. I fucking love you.
Love you too.
I know that we saw each other last weekend, but I just don't believe it's real. And it was really nice to see you again.
It was really nice to see you for the first time in like 5 years. All right. So, keep being a badass
and love yourself as much as you love Keanu Reeves' thumbs. He's so good with his thumbs.
He's so good with his thumbs. His Siberian thumbs.
So good with thumbs.
It's Arctic, terrifying Arctic thumbs. All right.
Oh God, it's so scary. All right.
All right.
I love you tons.
I love you. Bye.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.